Right. We want, the women to have access to all of the services that they deem necessary so that they can protect themselves and take care of themselves and think about themselves in the future.
Okay. And there's some LGBTQ issues that we want to talk about that's also ties into healthcare reform.
Absolutely. And I just want to highlight a few very quickly. We know that sexual orientation and gender expression disparities in healthcare exist. There are differences between the services that LGBT people get versus heterosexual people. So what this healthcare reform would do would really put the language in there that people are going to actually be looking at and observing those health disparities based on sexuality and sexual orientation and gender expression. Which is huge, so that we can begin to sort of make changes and close that those gaps in the healthcare for LGBT identified people.
Great.
Also, $12 billion for community-based organizing. Community-based organizations and clinics to do more of the prevention work that is so important to keeping our communities healthy, particularly communities of color.
Yes.
And just one more thing is that with this new healthcare reform, if you have a pre-existing condition, health insurance companies will not be able to deny you. And for people who have HIV/AIDS, this is also another sort of area in which people will, be able to be covered.
Yes.
And because we're tired of seeing people not having access to their health insurance, and if they don't have access to health insurance, they can't cover a cost of antiviral
medications, doctor visits, holistic services, housing. It all ties into each other.
All ties in. So I think those are the couple of things that I wanted to highlight from the LGBT component.
Okay, and I know everyone has seen this commercial on TV. I know you heard it on the radio. The Census 2010. All right, you cannot be counted until you mail it back.
Yes.
All right, which means in order for you to mail it back, you need to complete it.
Yes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 questions.
10 questions.
I count, you count, we all count.
We all count.
Absolutely. So submit the form.
Right. That's all we're going to say about that.
Yes. And I think we're at the portion where we're going to just talk about some things that are happening currently and things to be aware of for the future.
Okay.
So the Department of Housing and Urban Development have decided that they want to do a study of discrimination around LGBT people in housing. Yes. And this is, again, something historic. Like, this is something that has not been done. So this study will definitely be very helpful for us being able to realize what organizations, like what is really happening to LGBT people, and really sort of highlighting the homophobia and transphobia that exists in this culture.
Okay, and I want to highlight 4 things. March is Women's History Month. For all of you ladies who are out there, really understand what your predecessors done for you, who are women, what your grandma, what foundation she laid for you, your mother, your aunt, your godmother, a teacher, and really look at the impact that you are placing on society now. So when you leave here, what are people going to say about you? All right. Another thing is that this is National Nutrition Month.
Yes.
You are what you eat. We need to make sure that we are eating right and we are staying healthy. So 30 minutes of exercise, making sure that you eat food from all of the 5 food groups, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and drinking water.
Plenty of water. Plenty
of water. And there are 2 highlighted events that have already passed, but I just want to recognize. March 10th was National Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. And if you didn't know, every 35 minutes, a woman is tested positive for HIV.
Wow.
Every 35 minutes, a woman is tested positive for HIV. And 1 out of 4 Americans living with HIV is a woman. So that means if you aren't directly infected with HIV, you know someone who is affected.
Yes, and that has impacts on the whole family.
Yes.
The whole family.
Yes, because we know that women tend to be the caretakers and the providers of the family. So if mama's sick, if auntie's sick, if sister's sick, the family is all sick.
Yes,
all right?
Absolutely.
And then another thing was National American Indian, Alaska Native, or our forefathers for this country. It's a growing problem within this community around HIV/AIDS. Although this community represents less than 1% of the population, women account for 29% of HIV/AIDS within this community.
Yeah, we need to do something about that.
It speaks volumes again, just the cultural aspects when we think about the tribal nations and the communities, because within our own culture, we tend to stick with one another. So if services aren't being provided in a specific community, then how are you treating the issue? How are you treating the problem? How are you actually resolving it? We already know what the problem is, but what type of solutions do we have to these issues that are affecting our community?
Yeah, so these are, I think, we are in a time of change.
Yes.
And sort of really trying to bring about this idea of social justice and doing right by people, not just with people with money or people with privilege or power, but for everybody. And I think the prevention work that we do around HIV/AIDS, around healthcare, making sure that people have access is a part of that change. So I would encourage everyone to sort of step their game up, get more involved in the community.
Yes.
Get more involved in sort of changing policies that can have negative and devastating effects on people.
Yeah.
And we really need to do better.
So Durryle and I spoke about a lot of things today. We've talked about marriage equality, marriages here in D.C. We've talked about healthcare reform. We've talked about Women's History Month, National Nutrition Month, Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, and American Indian and Alaska Native HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. All of those links will be listed below in case you want to go and get more information, or if you want to do any type of mobilization projects within your community. We thank you for your time. We'll see you again in April, where it's STD Awareness Month. Do you know your STDs?
Yes.
All right, we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Check it out.